J Truth, Miss Queenie 98. Happy holidays. SAPD, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me today. I just came in for a quick little chit chat since the YouTube streets are kind of slow right now. So press a one if you can hear me. I want to make sure everyone can hear me first of all. Can you guys hear me? Thank you, Miss Queenie. Hey, Miss Teeny. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining me today. Hi, Cheryl Burnett. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, SAPD, so you guys can hear me. Hi, Roxy. Welcome. Hello, Astro Kid. Welcome. Happy holidays. Bird, welcome. Happy holidays to you as well. So, let's see who else is here. Okay. So, I was just, running around on the YouTube streets, as they say. And I I'm just really perplexed um, at what I've been seeing on the YouTube streets. So I just kind of wanted to talk about what's going on. Now, I refuse to go with the notion that most people thought that this ombre colored, highly crimped, fresh out of the packet wig, unplucked, with baby hairs. I wouldn't even call them baby hairs. I would call those adolescent hairs or preteen, actually late teen hairs, combed down over the forehead was a good look. And at some point, we need to understand on YouTube when people are or are not good friends. Because if you had good friends on YouTube, I don't think your good friend would allow you to come on camera looking that way. I just really don't. I'm just going to say it. I don't think a friend would do you like that. Hi for good and evil. Hi, Vibrant Lull. Hello, Vibrant Lull. Welcome. Happy holidays to you all. Oh, hi, Styles with Tisha. Tisa. I'm just tongue tied. Hello, Very Carrie. And Fedora. Hello. Welcome. Happy holidays to you all. Hello, Donna Hughes. I just want to know. Hello, Miss Toby. How are you? Happy holidays, Miss Toby. Now, um, we see a lot of things on YouTube, and we try to be nice to people, and I think that one of the nicest things we can do to people is prevent them from going outside looking crazy. And what I saw on Tracy's head yesterday was could have somebody could have been a friend to her yesterday. I'll put it that way. And so we understand that people, like some women, they pretend to be your friend, but they're really not your friend. Because if I had a friend, if Miss Toby happened to want to go out and I had her contact information, I would have told Miss Toby, "Hey girl, put that on black screen and go live on black screen. Just say something happened to your camera and you don't know what happened. You're good at lying anyway. So just go on black screen because something's off about your hair." I would have told her. I would have been nice. But people aren't nice these days. It's the holiday season. Why couldn't somebody be nice to the young lady? I don't know. What is wrong with you? You guys are so evil and mean, you know? So also I was listening to what's her name? Diva Tomboyish. Um I've been getting little shots here and there about this relationship, and is Tracy going out to visit her beau and all these types of things. And a lot of people have been, saying, for whatever reasons that they feel that they don't think it's a good idea. I don't know anything about him personally. I've just been hearing what other people have been warning her about. So I can't say independently if these things are true. However, hi Nova the Woman King, hi Spam. However, put a one in the chat if if you would consider taking the words of people in the sector that he's from serious, or would you lean more to your own feelings about this person that you have known for approximately 3 weeks, and now that you say you are in love with, would you lean to your feelings of love that you have acquired in a 3 week time span, or would you be more cautious to listen to people who have seen this person devolve over the years? One, for your own understanding; two, for listen to caution from people who know this person. One or two. You go throw caution to the wind. One, you'll heed some good advice. Two. Okay, I'm gonna wait on the vote. Hello, Bianca. Happy holidays. UNC Girls Bad Weave. Happy holidays. Cat 90. Happy holidays. The Body Electric. Happy holidays. Okay, I don't see any voting. Okay, so you guys have no comment. Okay, well, I would, personally, one, because I'm hard headed. Yeah, and what did your mom always tell you? A hard head makes a soft behind. But Tracy doesn't have much behind, so that may work in that case. So I get you. I get you. Okay, so let me quit. But I was listening to Diva Tomboyish, no stuff, and this is the first time I listened to her, and it seems like she's quite angry about this friendship between MU and Tracy for some reason, and I don't know who has even cared about the situation about this alleged ring and its cost, its value, where it is, its location. Has it been picked up? Hasn't it been picked up? But it seems like the people who were heavily pushing that storyline have since dropped that storyline and moved on. But Diva Tomboyish came out today and said that, in fact, the ring had been picked up, and it seems like she's saying that there was an insurance scam going on with the ring, and that there was a claim put in for the ring. That was my understanding of what she said. She didn't say it verbatim. That was my understanding of what she said. So it seems like Diva Tomboyish had the backstory of what was actually going on with the ring, and she played a couple of videos. She played a couple of videos where I really can't keep up. I just can't keep up. So my whole point is it seems like this whole thing is some elaborate storyline for Tracy's new beau and the other friend to garner numbers and to get more views on their pages. And it's just really exhausting. I really can't even get into the storyline. It's so boring. It's so uninteresting. I can't believe that a woman who is 50 plus years old is online saying that, oh, they're deeply in love with someone who they never met, who exhibit the behavior. Well, everybody can choose who they want to love, but I just find this whole scenario just disturbing. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that. And what do you guys think? Someone really should have told Tracy about that kitchen mat on top of her head. Oh my goodness. Okay. I heard that a while ago. What did you hear a while ago? I like the channel. I don't know them. I'll come back when I hear Dovey. Dovey? Why would you hear Dovey? I don't know. What did you guys hear a while ago? I don't believe her. She sounds bitter. Yeah, she does sound really angry, and I don't know what is driving her to be. It's all for views. That's what I kind of figure. It just seems so contrived and just so ridiculous that who would believe people of these ages would be acting so foolishly. I can't believe it. And hey Faith, how you doing? Oh, my mods are here. Oh, I think it's time to vote. Okay, because we have a mod who's fallen in love but we may have to fire that mod. Everybody knows who that mod is. Hey Goosey, where are you, Goosey? I'm gonna cut you some slack because you're young and it's the holidays and you have new love, or I don't, you haven't said it was love, so let me back off. I'm talking about Tracy, and now I'm saying you're in love. You have a new person, so I'll give you some slack, and you can come after the new year, and I won't fire you like they fired me without notice. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so let's see what I think. Diva is jealous of Tracy because she picked MU over her. Okay, that seems to be the growing trend that Tracy is going to ride hard for MU. But it's bad when you have MU and Tracy on the panel and MU's hair wig looks better than Tracy's. It's really, really bad at that point. Like why? 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 Yes. Yes, Miss Toby. Well, I don't know about that. I haven't asked that, Miss Toby. But yes, Ronnie Q, some of us had heard the possibility of the insurance ring being a scam of sorts, allegedly. Oh, you guys had already heard that. Okay. Yeah, it's quite crazy. So, Goosey better have me blocked if he's here. Goosey, are you here? I don't think he's here. Hello, happy holidays, Fifi TV. Hi, Auntie Donna. Oh, he's not here. Goosey's not here. Hi, Tropical Punch. I missed you. Hi, Tropical Punch. So, also, what else has gone on in the sector? It hasn't really been a lot going on in the sector. Stomp Down. Stomp Down seems like I think he's left on for the third time it is. But Jay Wilson, there is no way that we're going to brush over you being caught in yet another lie. See, Jay Wilson, it's awful funny that Jay Wilson continuously lies. And when he gets caught in the lies, oh, he don't want to talk about it. It ain't no big whoop and all this type of stuff. But nobody told you to flop your big back out there and try to cover for Stomp Down when there were questions about Stomp Down and say that, oh, I've seen him. Oh, he's an attractive male and he's Latino and black and all this. Nobody asked you for all that lie. But then when you get caught in a lie, when a picture surfaces that you even thought could have been stomped down, then all of a sudden you pull back and say you've never seen him. Well, actually, Jay Wilson, you said that you've seen him. So if there's no big whoop now, the big whoop of the whole situation is you really need to sit down and quit playing on God's name with all your lying for no reason. You really need to discuss what goes on in factual things that go on instead of making up all these crazy stories. Now all of a sudden it's no big whoop. Well, if you want to talk about something, how come you haven't disclosed to us about this situation with Grinder and Jack? Now you say that you don't date because people who use Grinder are people who are dating, and you actually said that Mark has proposed to you, so you'll be doing different things. Okay, Mark's proposed to you. Grinder is for people who aren't dating. So why were you on Grinder then? So are you telling me you and Mark were together and you were dating other people up until the moment that he proposed to you? That doesn't sound right to me. That sounds crazy. What type of relationship did you guys have? Is that the only way Mark can keep you off of Grinder, is to make an honest woman out of you? I don't know. That's weird to me. Yeah, well, the people have questions. Pastor always be lying, dating and hunching. Well, I guess he is correct because technically, would you call just getting together and bringing lube to someone's house a date, or would that be more like a sexual escapade, a sexual hookup? It's not a dating. It's not like he had to take him to a trough and feed him at the time, so maybe it was just a hookup. So, okay, maybe he wasn't dating. Hey, V. Lenore, how are you? Okay, so, and Very Carey, we were supposed to have a game show last night, and somehow Very Carey did not show up. She was running late. And I had my game face on and I was ready for my games and I wasn't able to play my games. So I'm quite cantankerous today. So those are things that are going on with me. And sheesh, I don't know anything else that have been going on. Oh, Bree and Pizarro. Bree and Pizarro were quite mad at me for stating my opinion about some things. But you know what? It's still my opinion about some things. And that's it, and that's all. Okay, and a couple of people have blocked me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad the truth hit home, and we didn't have to have any more conversation about your shenanigans that I caught you dead red-handed in. So thank you. Okay, and what else? Ken, New Orleans news. You really need to stop addressing me. I said you're a kiss ass. You're proven to be a kiss ass. And that's the bottom line. I don't care what you think, who you think I got my numbers from, where you think I got my popularity from, whatever. Who cares? You don't have any. You wrote on everybody's back, everybody's titty, everybody's pockets, and you are still a bottom feeder gutter snipe. So quit addressing me. Okay, now, hey Levon, happy holidays. So, those are all the holiday greetings that I have, and that's all that I can think to talk about. Stomp Down has disappeared once again, I see. There's somebody named, this guy, Rico the Brat. Rico the Brat, you wrote in Very Carey's chat one day that you wanted me to hit the link so we could argue. Rico the Brat, I've never typed you in a chat. I've never spoken to you. I have never met you. So, what about me do you think I would argue with someone who I never had any type of contact, verbalization, text typing, anything? Go sit down somewhere. Okay, so is there, let me see, who else? Oh, that's about it. Now, I want to know. This is something serious. I said I was going to talk about serious topics, so I got all the flim flam out of the way. So I really want to know what you guys think about all this money that the United States has been sending Ukraine. It's something over. It's close to $80 billion that Joe Biden administration has sent to Ukraine. And when you think about the amount of money that is, and the problems that the United States has with all this homelessness, a lot of people have been pushed out of the middle class. It's a lot of working poor. Our Congress does not want to pass a living minimum wage. There's no state in the United States of America that a person can rent housing if they are only making minimum wage. This is a fact. It's not a trajectory or anything. This is an actual fact that the rent prices are so high. And it seems to me that, I have nothing against foreign aid. Of course, people need foreign aid sometimes. But at what point, these are our tax dollars that are going overseas and all over the place. And it always seems like when it comes time to help the American people, it's always, you know, we don't have the money. We're going to have to cut uh, Social Security. We're going to have to cut other entitlement, as they call them, entitlement programs. Well, I'm entitled to it because I paid into Social Security. But we can never say we're going to tax big businesses. We never look at the tax cut for the rich, the tax cut for businesses as entitlement. We've always been told, oh well, they need to make money to put money back into the economy so that prices won't go up. Prices are sky high. The tax cuts have gone on continuously for big businesses, for the rich, and we're at a point right now where inflation is killing everybody, the middle class. The prices of gas, the two major gas companies in the third quarter made twice what they made in the third quarter last year. So, people are just getting rich for no reason other than they can get rich. They're allowed to get rich. It's legal for them to get rich. But, I just really want to know what you guys think about some of these things, because, and I don't want to sound any kind of way, but this thing with this housing that they built for the immigrants in New York City. This tent encampment has state of the art medical, has these comfortable couches, TVs, internet station, phone banks all over the place. They're getting brand new clothes. They're getting everything that they need. And then right across the way is a homeless shelter for people in the United States. They have to sit in hard chairs in this one little dim lobby where there's a little smaller TV, and they don't get any of these medical needs, any of these connections that they need. And you look at the immigrants that are waiting to come in at the border, who they're waiting to see if they're going to pass if they're going to change the law that Trump put in place, where undocumented immigrants can't come into the United States due to the COVID. So they're waiting to come into the country. And you hear the newscaster say, well, all they want is a better life. All they want are jobs. But it's my understanding that employers aren't supposed to hire undocumented workers. So why is the story pushed on us like all they want is jobs? Well, all American people want our jobs as well. So you bringing in a labor force that will undercut the American worker, and then you say that all they want is jobs. Well, what about the middle class who have lost all their jobs when you guys let corporations ship their jobs overseas? So nobody is talking about these things. So it's a lot to unpack, and I'm not against immigration. This United States is a country of immigrants, but at what point do we have to say, we've met our quota or anything of that such? If anybody want to come up and talk to me about it, I don't, I am completely aware that we are a country of immigrants. And, when I think about how they did the immigrants, those Haitian immigrants who were crossing over the Rio Grande, and they took those horses and they rounded them up with whips and horses and things, and they put them immediately on a bus and took them immediately on planes to get out of the United States. And then I look at all the people that they let in after they shut down the Afghan war, all these people who are waiting at the borders to come to other countries. Like Haiti is a failed state. So Haiti is no different. It may be even worse than Honduras and all these other Hispanic nations that these people are coming from. And so there's no fairness in what they're doing either. So anybody want to come up and talk to me about it, or give me what you think about it? I greatly appreciate it. And let's have a conversation about it. Yes, they want the cheap labor. Somebody was talking about somebody was talking about Queen Insanity, and they were saying something about she appears to be without a home, that she works in a homeless shelter. And then they said something about, well, why don't she just go get a gig job? It is so beyond me that the best that America can offer the unemployed people are gig jobs. Uh, the best that we can offer our own people are gig jobs. jobs running Uber, where you get paid by the day laborers, where you get paid by the day, and if you get hurt, there's no workers' comp insurance, there's no anything, no safety net. You have to live in these day stay motels and all these types of things. And is this the new America that we're really looking at? Because people say things so flippantly, like, that's the way that America should be. And that is just, it's like beyond me. It's like we really, really, really have to look at what's going on with America, because it's like really daunting. So nobody wants to come up and talk to me about this situations. Nobody. You're more than welcome to join me in the conversation. Okay, I guess not. We ain't got it to give. That's right. Hello, dear self. Happy holidays. Charity begins at home. Okay, the federal judge kept that law in place about the COVID thing. I think that's what LSA boss is talking about. Okay, well, yes, Ronnie, it's a lot. Take care of Americans and the middle class. That's true. Yes, let's talk about it's a real conversation. What's simply success? Hit the link and let's have a conversation about it. It seems like people are really scared to broach the topic because nobody wants to feel like they are uncompassionate to other people. But like if you're on a crashing airplane and the air mask, the oxygen comes down, they tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you put it on a disabled person or a child. Because if you don't live, if you don't get air, you're not going to be alive to give anybody else any aid. So I went to a big dinner party and it was a lot of Persian people there from Iran, and they would toast for like every serving, like the every serving, every toast. I mean, every time somebody would speak, it was like toast, 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 toast all night. And the thing that they would toast is us first, then everybody else. And it just seems like America, they have all these slogans about America first and no child left behind and all these types of slogans when they mean absolutely nothing, because our children are being left behind. We It doesn't seem like we put Americans first. We have a whole lot of veterans who are unhoused and things like that, and they go over and fight these wars and everything for us, and then they're unhoused and harassed by cops and put in jail because they're unhoused, and all the things that come with being unhoused. People in Los Angeles, there are over 64,000 homeless people in the whole county of Los Angeles. And of those 60 some thousand homeless people, 42,000 live in the general Los Angeles area. That's a lot of people. And with all the money that they put toward housing, they spend billions a year, but it doesn't seem like they really are trying to, put a dent in the homelessness, because in Los Angeles, the homeless population and the mentally ill population is just rampant. It's just really rampant, and it has really grown. And they used to contain the homeless population where they would be out of sight, just on Skid Row. But now the homeless population is in every city. You hear from Hollywood Boulevard to all of the valleys. Every city is touched by these homeless encampments, and it's a lot of money put out to appear that they're doing something for the homeless, but in actuality there are no funds. There's no funds to build any housing in Los Angeles because they want to keep the real estate high and all these types of things. These are like really big problems that America act as if it's okay. In Los Angeles, they start opening up different parking lots for people to who live in their cars where they can park overnight and be safe. And they feel that that is a solution for people who don't have a place to live, is to offer them a parking lot, which is good. I guess it's better than sleeping on the street and somebody coming up to your window and harassing you. At least you're in a lot where everybody else. But that is this normal? Are we supposed to take this as normal now? This is crazy to me. And nobody else has any opinion about it. Nope. Well, these are just some of the things I have been mulling over as I watch the news. I kind of hate to watch the news now, and I hate to read up on things, but how else are you gonna find out things if you don't read up on things? Well, we would have to fight to expand the US borders. Like we have to fight to get the borders that we have. In Texas and Louisiana, they came from Mexico. We had to purchase that from Mexico. So, oh, shut up. Yes, my chair is fully charged. Yeah, so I just been thinking about a lot of these problems that we have that it just seems to go unfiltered. And I think that Australia and the World Health Organization. Australia was the prime minister was the first person when that C virus broke out. He was the first person to speak the term out loud in a speech about a new world order. And then shortly thereafter, the World Health Organization, started using that term as well about a new world order. And then we used to hear that way back like it was some conspiracy theory thing, but now people are actually putting that on the table as a way to say that there should be a new way that we look at how the world should go. And if people sleeping in parking lots for a safe place to sleep because they're unhoused, that is a horrible way to go. So, I I just want to know, what do you guys think about it? Yeah, and the rents they've gone up in some places over 60%. The median is close to 40% across the United States that the rent has gone up. So, but the pay hasn't gone up. Only thing has gone up are things that you have to pay as opposed to your salary pay. And there is a strip of buildings in New York City because of course you can real estate and land is so short in New York City. They are building skyscrapers on top of buildings that are already there, and so they have a place called Billionaire Row, and they have all these tall buildings, and one of them is the second thinnest building. I think the thinnest building is in Dubai. The building is so narrow and thin, but it's like really high. I don't want to. I think it's like 90 stories. I don't quote me, but it's really high. These buildings are set aside for billionaires, and some of them are four-story penthouses. Some of them are the just one whole story penthouse and all this type of stuff. And they're building all these buildings for people, and most of the people who own these penthouses are foreigners, people who don't live in the United States, people who use them as a vacation or secondary home, and they're building all of these penthouses on this billionaires row, but they are close to 60% unsold and unoccupied. But they refuse to build housing for the poor. I don't understand this. At what point do the people say this is crazy? Yes, most of them are vacant. That's right. Well, I'm gonna do the last call for anybody hit the link. If anybody want to have a conversation with me about what you see going on in your vicinity, your city, your town, that is kind of like the status quo of, having people think that, living in substandard conditions is the new thing, please hit the link. Let's have a conversation. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. Yeah, but the thing about it is, like in Louisiana, for example, uh, a lot of people in the South, in Mississippi and Louisiana, those southern states, they have heirs property, and they have hedge fund companies and buyers who are going in trying to break up the heirs. So if one or two sell the land, some for some reason they can acquire all the heirs' land and kick them off of the property, make them lose property that has been uh, in the family for generations. And it's usually black people are the largest owners of heirs property. So there is a concerted effort to get this land from people who don't have any attachment to these states and things like that. They're just paying property taxes. They may be missing property taxes, and people are going in and swooping up this land. And people don't realize how important it is to keep this land and have land and own land, because they don't have any connection to the community where their land is. But it's yeah, there is a big effort to steal back all that land from these property owners. And the people who want to actually work their land and farm their land, they're given big runarounds. There is, in Louisiana, there's a group of black sugarcane workers who uh, have come together to try to fight, how they dole out the money when it's time to farm the land, because they make them jump through extra loopholes and things that they don't make the bigger sugarcane growers jump through. And therefore, when they get their loan, when they go to apply for their loan, they tell them they have to do something extra. You have to do this, you have to do that. And by the time they do all the things that they're required to do that other bigger companies don't have to do, there's no more grant money to be given out, or they're giving their seeds that they're giving money to buy their seeds and their equipment so late in the farm season that their crop is no good, because the weather cycle is like beyond what time it would be to have a successful crop. So it's just like a whole lot of convoluted things that goes on with trying to take the heir property from the heirs, and because they can't make any money off of it, even if they want to do something with their property. And it's just really disheartening. It's really disheartening. They got a cash out for what? Okay, let me see. New York City is like the old Tyler Perry show, the haves and the haves not. Pardon my manners. Good evening, Ronnie Q. Myers. Hey, Uncle Claude. Welcome. Happy holidays, Uncle Claude. Um, so hey, Angel Ray, happy holidays. Dorian is blessed. Happy holidays. Welcome. So I guess those are some of the things that, really, if you say anything keeps me up at night, those are some of the things that really bothers me. America, people like to say America is the greatest country in the world, and they use that like a slogan. But if you get under the hood of America, America could really do better by its people. And that's one of the things that I'll say. Nobody's asking for handouts, but it sure seems like America has plenty of handouts that they are freely giving other people who didn't build this nation, but who tax dollars that they always want to pull from to give to other people. So I was watching the news all day. I was sewing, and the CNN happened to be on all day, and I'm listening to these stories and I'm listening to other things, and it just got to me today. It kind of boiled over in me today, so I had to come on here and make a rant. And these are some of the things that be swirling through my mind if I watch the news for too long. So I'm just gonna, since nobody wants to come up and talk to me, I'm gonna thank you all for showing up to hear me um, just kind of ramble off some things that have been going through my mind. Mayor Adams of New York want police, yes, to involuntarily remove those who appear to be mentally ill. Exactly. And he wants cops to do this. So a cop can just walk up to you in New York City now if they have any type of disposition against you and have you put in a mental ward. I think it's a 3-day hold or a 7-day hold, maximum 7-day hold. What mental health training do these cops have to determine who is mentally ill? There are some people who are obviously mentally ill, but if once you give people some power, what are they going to do? Start doing abusing power. They already abusing their arrest power. Can you imagine how many people are just going to be locked up because of a cop's disposition towards you? Like, oh my God, what type of bias training are they going to get? Oh my God. So yeah, it's just a mess. Hey, watching from Cloud9. All right, I'm just gonna thank you guys for coming out and listening to me rant for a little while. And I'm sorry nobody came up to have any conversation with me, but that's how it works sometimes. So at this time, I'm gonna say stop and frisk in New York. Yeah, we remember how that worked out. So at this time, I'm just gonna say happy holidays to y'all. Someone's came up. Dear self. Now you want to come up. We start talking about New York City. Oh, now you got something to say. Let me put my banner up. It may not be you. Hello.
Hi, Ronnie. I have a
Hello.
echo. I have an
No.
echo. Let me jump down.
N-
I hear an
No,
echo.
I don't hear an echo. Talk some more.
Yeah. What I was saying about that raggedy ass mayor in NYC. He's a fucking trip. They call him the TikTok mayor. That nigga never miss a motherfucking party, and he's just ridiculous. I remember when he was my homeboy still live out there, so I remember my homeboy was talking to me. He was like, "Yo, hear that nigga right there? Let me ask him some questions." Got off the phone to ask him some questions, and what he was asking him about the small mom and pop businesses that are still around, the black businesses. Well, he gave him a generic answer, but when I saw him going around later on, weeks later, he was going around to the Arabic and the Asian places, asking them how can he help them with their businesses. He doesn't give a fuck about black people. Nothing that has to do with us. And now the homeless thing, he's like, well, we're not going to be just stopping anybody, and taking them in involuntarily. Like, yeah, y'all do that shit already to people. Y'all commit people already involuntarily. So now y'all have a law to just go wild. It's really going to be haywire because instead of moving these immigrants in and getting them mental health. Oh, that's a new thing too. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over. They have had 2 suicides in those shelters that they have the immigrants in. Now they're worrying about the immigrants having mental health and what they may be going to. How about the regular motherfucking New Yorkers that are batshit crazy on the street? What about getting them mental
Dear
health?
self, you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you cut off.
Whoa. I was talking. You ain't hear that?
Yeah, you said they're worried about the mental health and what they need, and then it kind of
The
cut off.
immigrants, yeah, with the immigrants, right? But what
Right.
about the New Yorkers that been on the fucking street that haven't been getting what they need? So you care about these people talking about, oh, it's been two suicides in those shelters, oh, and
Hmm.
so
Yeah, and they talked to him about the difference in the shelter, in the living condition in the shelter that they just built uh, very quickly for the immigrants compared to the shelter that's right across the way from it, where black veterans are living, all types of people are living. He said, "Oh, but we're not going to get into the particulars and what who has and who doesn't." Like, are you serious? Are you serious?
yeah,
These are people who fought for this country. But
mhm.
you don't want to be particular in what they get back from this country when they can't do for themselves. It's disgusting.
Yeah, he's worried about the immigrants being housed. You have all of those apartment buildings that they rehab that they have nobody in. They do the lotteries and they're still not bringing people in. What about the homeless people in the street? These homeless families, these women that are in shelters with their children, that they're getting killed in these shelters. What about them? No, he want to put the gualas, and excuse me, no offense to anybody, but them in the motherfucking shelters. Like what the fuck? First come, first
Yeah,
serve, motherfucker.
and then you have people who have just got. There's a Vice story about the immigrants who have come over into Texas, and how Texas is just getting them, putting them on buses. Some of them are getting flights to go to other different states. New York, Chicago, and Washington D.C. are the main places that they're putting them on buses to go to, and they're telling them, okay, you're gonna eat, you're gonna do this. They don't give them nothing to eat for the whole 40-hour bus ride, anything. And some of them are allowed. Like this one lady, she said, well, I thought I was going to Atlanta. So she was in Tennessee. She got off the bus. She's just allowed to just get off the bus wherever she chose to. And she caught a ride with one of the truck drivers to Atlanta. I mean, they just like just want them out and all over the place. But as soon as they got to New York, this lady was saying, "Oh, okay, I'm set up, and they're going to get me into temporary housing. It should be coming up in a month or so." Like, excuse me, a month or so? You're getting temporary housing? Like, you got people who've been waiting for housing for years. It's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Well, you know how much a package per package immigrants get when they come here. What's the estimated package? It's between 200 and $400,000 per family. That's including healthcare, food, healthcare, housing, food, medical care, and everything. So they estimated to 200 to $400,000. Are you fucking kidding me?
Uh huh.
Are you kidding me?
And
But
then
me as a citizen, if I lose my job and I go to welfare, they want my blood type. They want every fucking thing. These motherfuckers walking in with nothing, and they want to tell you, oh, well, when I came to this country, yeah, motherfucker, you had a Head Start kit, motherfucker.
Yeah, you have a big Head Start kit, and that's the thing. You pay your tax dollars into a safety net for you, but if you get unemployed, you get hurt on your job or any type of thing, a lot of these jobs are not. A lot of these jobs don't even offer medical insurance in the first place. During World War II, that was when the big push on because they had a freeze on wages in World War II, and the way that they got people to join the workforce is to like women to join the workforce and stuff when they needed them to go to work, and was to offer them health insurance included in their wages. And that's why employers over the history of the United States since World War II has been the biggest uh, provider of health insurance. But so few employers are, it's not demanded of them, but it was during the war, but it's not now. And so few companies have any incentive to offer people health insurance. So a lot of people aren't getting health insurance. Uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was governor of California, one of his go-to thing was to strip workers' comp. Yeah, so if you got hurt on the job, he thought that you were getting paid too much if you got enough to live off of when you were hurt from doing your job.
Oh,
These people are
he
just
did a lot. He didn't pay
unconscionable.
those. He didn't give people back it was their what was it? Their state refund or whatever. They got their federal tax and come back, but they weren't getting their state refund back. I believe it was, and it was like backed up.
Mm.
This was. when he was in office a long time ago. But yeah, they just play with these
Yeah.
numbers. But if you're an immigrant, you can't be a black immigrant. If you're a regular immigrant, you're going to get the package. Some black immigrants, it depends what country they came from in Africa and stuff like that, what they'll get. And they're allowed to put their Caucasian on the census. They like, we didn't even know we were black when
Oh,
we came here. Like,
yes. That's the other thing. They're allowed to put that they're Caucasian on the census. It depends on what Spanish state you're from.
mm-hmm,
Uh, like if you're from Colombia, if you're from Mexico, I forget. They federally allow you to check yourself as Caucasian. You're
absolutely.
Caucasian,
Absolutely.
and also
Mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Somalis and Egyptians too. I know two personally that are not Arabic, they're black, and they
Hmm.
put white, and they didn't know the difference when they came in. They was like, "What?" They was like to put Caucasian. They was like, "We didn't know." Well, motherfucker, change it back. They looked at me like I was stupid. Like, fuck, you know what? How much grants and shit I got because of this shit? Fuck that.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
it's
trip. It's
tricky.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't even understand, what's going on. And like I look back, like when I graduated from high school, I had so many options. Like, okay, I can go to college, I can get a job, I can go to a trade school. I had so many options open to me. I don't have to live at home. I can get my own place. And now you look at the kids nowadays, they're like 26, 27, has never left their home. And then unfortunately, you have the ones who their parents kick them out, who can't afford it themselves, or just some parents just I'm done raising you, you 18, you got to go. And then they have nowhere to go because they have no way to support themselves. How is an 18-year-old going to pay these nominal rents that they have going on for studio bedrooms, one bedrooms? It's no way that somebody cannot that somebody can do this. It's just
No,
crazy.
you can't afford it. But you have to be a non-black immigrant. But I agree with you when I heard about the hate when you was talking about the Haitians getting rounded up or whatever. I don't even want to go back into the
Hmm.
Obama situation when he sent all them Africans right back. They didn't even fucking make it halfway. He said, "Oh, y'all motherfuckers go back," but those Ukrainians and everything, and they
Hmm.
invited them over here. So I just don't go for these niggas talking about Obama. Obama, like, yo, he fucked y'all the most. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were a non-black immigrant, or if you were a non-black gay person, you had it. You had it. So I just can't go
Hmm.
for it. They all fuck us over. We get fucked over, black people get fucked over. You know what I'm saying? But when we come to it, with being in this country, I'm American first. Yeah, I'm black, but we're Americans. And no, I don't we don't have no more room for no motherfucking immigrants. I'm sorry. You send everybody back like you send the black ones back without a talk. We talking about, well, they're waiting, for this to get open, the law to, go down or whatever so they can have free entry in. No, no, send them motherfuckers back. Nope, 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 no. We ain't got it. We are suffering. Nobody has food. Food is expensive. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I spent $500 in two different stores for 2 weeks worth of groceries. This week, one store, $407. We ain't got it. We don't got it.
Yeah.
We need food stamps and everything
Now this
else.
Yeah, exactly. Now this person's saying the news shows immigrants in Central America on from the Central American border living on the streets. Where? In El Paso, Texas. No shelters for them because in El Paso, Texas, Greg Abbott, the governor, is not going to let them stay. So they're sleeping on the streets because he doesn't want Texas to be comfortable for them. And they're putting them on buses for cities like New York City, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., and Connecticut, all over the United States. Texas is not making it comfortable for them to stay. That's why there are no shelters for them in Texas. But trust you me, if Texas asks for some federal dollars to house them, Texas would get the money to build temporary housing for all those immigrants they had. Texas don't want to make them comfortable.
The gag was when they sent them to Martha's Vineyard. I was hollering. That was the funniest shit ever. Cracker said, "Oh, they got to get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Can't stay
But
here.
the thing about that, was I would have been. I get what you're saying, but see, that was a total publicity stunt for the governor in Florida, Mark DeSantis, because those
Ugh,
people, he
uh-huh.
went to Texas. He went to Texas and got those people and flew them to Martha Vineyard as if he was doing something for Florida. Those people were never in Florida. So what he
Right.
actually did was waste Florida's taxpayer dollars to go to Texas to fly people to Martha Vineyards to make it appear like he was tough on illegal immigration. Meanwhile, and that's another thing, Cuban Americans, if they make it to shore, then they can stay in the United States. I don't know who's old enough to remember that thing with Elian Gonzalez. And
I
he didn't
remember.
make it to shore. He was in the life raft, and they were going to court back and forth that he should stay. He has family here. He should stay. And by law, he didn't make it here. He was supposed to go back. So after the father said he wanted him back and all this type of stuff, it wound up he went back. But when Elian Gonzalez first went with his cousins and things in Miami, those cousins were lower class, poorer people. And then all of a sudden, once the publicity started, the young girl's hair, it was all fly and flowy and streaked, and she was having Gucci bags and all this type of stuff. They look out for their own. And see, we Black people, we never look out for our own. We don't want to tell anybody any information we got because we scared the next motherfucker gonna get what we got, so we can't be flossing on the next motherfucker.
They're getting
None
help
of
from the
us have
government though,
anything.
Ronnie. But we
Right,
don't get that
right,
help. They're
right.
getting packages, so we can't even compare that because they're getting setup packages that we're not getting, stuff they don't tell us about. I had
Right,
a
but
friend that worked in social service. Go ahead.
my point is that if we stick together more on small things, we can get bigger things accomplished. But go ahead. I get you.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying, no, I got what you're saying. My friend worked for social services and she was talking about, they had like people that were out of work that had college degrees and they found themselves out of work for whatever reasons and how hard they gave them, trying to get this on welfare for 6 months. People like, listen, I have a plan. I just need help for 6 months versus these Indian families coming in with no paperwork, nothing, and they're finding them stuff right away. They were not telling the Black educated people that were coming in that was down on their luck about affordable housing, new beautiful buildings. They were not telling them about that.
Mm,
They would have to sneak to give them that information. But all the immigrant families, they were giving them that information so they could live in these beautiful high rises because these nice buildings, they have to set aside a certain amount of units for lower income people. They weren't
right.
telling the Black families about that, but they were telling the non-Black families that had no paperwork or whatever. It was like 20 of them in a household, exaggeration, but a lot of them in the household,
Mm,
how to get over it. Each one of them, in the household, not everybody can get food stamps. Not back in the day, only one person could get food stamps. No, everybody was getting food stamps. So therefore, they were able to get ahead and live in these nice luxury places while they were referring to Black people to welfare motels with sex offenders and they have fucking children with them. So it's like they're not
right.
going to give us anything. It's something about the Black American that we built this motherfucker, but yet we can't reap the benefits. Everybody else come over here and they have a nerve to tell us how the fuck it is. I done had Africans tell me, oh, it's not like, how the fuck you going to tell me, motherfucker? You came over here in a green card in a motherfucking dream and you going to tell me how the fuck it is. No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
And
Get the fuck out of here. That's why I don't
and
feel bad for them when they get profiled.
and another thing that they do is that like you notice that like a lot of Asians and uh, I want to say Muslim people like the, I don't want to be stereotypical, but people from Arab countries, and I know in New York City they automatically were awarded under ooh, Chuck Schumer wrote into a law that they were automatically able to get up to $25,000 in small business loans that they did not have to pay back if they stayed in business for over 5 years. Now, what other American citizen would not have a thriving business if they were allowed to do the same thing? And this is a Democrat, Chuck Schumer, giving it away to people who just got here. But you, who your ancestors built this country, you can't get anything. But you can go to that Arabs and that Asian person's business and get treated like dog crap because they look at you like you a lazy MF when they don't know that they getting everything that they would never give you.
Don't
So
give
that's
it
how
that.
they're
Listen,
able to start all these business, these restaurants, these nail shops,
absolutely.
these convenience stores, all this type of stuff. Like
in
come
your
on.
in your neighborhoods, but niggas, not black people, love them in their neighborhoods. They purchase from them and everything, and that's my friend. I seen a little off topic. I seen a short video. This lady had stole something from the bodega, and these motherfuckers was standing outside waiting for her to come outside to beat her down about Habib's motherfucking products. That's your sister right there. Talking about, oh, he good to us, but that's your sister. He don't give a fuck about you. If he cared about you, why don't he hire one of y'all to sweep outside the store at night to get a couple of dollars? Get the fuck out of here. Because he let y'all get away with owing him 25 cents until the next day. Get the fuck out of here. I don't go for that.
Right. Right. He
So,
let you off with a
niggas keep
nickel.
them in power. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they're not gonna buy anything from outside of their own they're not gonna buy anything from black people. They're not gonna shop with black people. They're not gonna shop with anybody but their own people. They're gonna keep their money
Absolutely.
within themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Listen. Well, that's what black people say. We never want time, and when we have stores, but these motherfuckers follow you around and shoot you in the head for a bottle of milk and stuff like that. Get the fuck out of here. And this anti-Asian bill. Meanwhile, our civil rights bill has been
Oh
sitting on
my
that fucking
God.
desk for decades. Meanwhile,
And
our
look how
shit been
quickly
sitting on decades.
they got that bill signed into law. And they
Well,
don't
they.
and when that dude, that white dude went through Georgia and was going through shooting up all these people in these massage parlors. See, they even
Mm-hmm.
had commercials telling black people, how come you guys treat us this way? They acted as if it was black people who were the majority of people, and
Yes.
they commercialized it like they do anything negative with a black face, that the black people were the ones who were discriminating against Asians, and that's where they get all their money from. But meanwhile, when that dude went through all those massage parlors in Georgia and shot up all those Asian workers, it was freaking crickets. What about non-Asian violence then? It was crickets. Nothing.
Yeah, that because that's how
Just
it was.
like
The anti-Asian bill. Mm-hmm.
the Tupac wrote that dedicated that video, "Keep Your Head Up," because way back in the day, this girl Latasha Harlins
That's
was
right.
accused of stealing orange juice from a convenience store
Mm-hmm.
in Los Angeles, and that woman leaned over there and shot her in the head and killed her over thinking that
Absolutely.
she had stolen orange juice. And see, so this is like embedded in our DNA, the structure of the DNA of the black experience. This type of stuff,
It
and
is.
nothing was
The
done
little
for
boy in
her. She
Brooklyn,
was
what was his
acquitted.
name? Gavin Cato. That was his little boy, the little boy that got ran over, and the Jewish people, the Hasidics, refused to take them in the ambulance to take him to the hospital. Had they took him to in the hospital in the ambulance, he would have survived. The little boy in Brooklyn, remember that during the riots
I don't
in the
remember that.
90s.
No, I didn't hear
Okay, you
about
remember
that.
what the Hasidics and the blacks
Yeah,
had the riot in
yes, I do.
Brooklyn in the
Yes, I
90s.
do. Mhm. I
Yeah,
do.
because
Yes, I
they
do.
refused to
Mhm.
take him in the ambulance, even though the city ambulance couldn't get through, but their ambulance was already there. If they took that little boy to the hospital, he would have lived. But they said no, only their own. You see how this goes? But niggas love kissing
Yeah.
their motherfucking ass. Nah, that's my boy. Spit Curl is my boy. Nah, that ain't my motherfucking boy. I'm black. I'm black.
Oh, he different. He cool. He cool. He cool. And then it's to the point where you got these young black kids sitting around here letting everybody use the N word, calling everybody ends and stuff, no respect and all this type of stuff. But let you use a derogatory term that describes their nationality. Yeah, they'll be trying to burn you at the stake. They're not gonna stand for it.
Oh yeah. I'm politically
Fedora,
incorrect. I'd use it as a fit.
Your device is not connected. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you for
Yeah, but
coming up
that's the
because
way. Yeah,
Go
nah,
ahead.
you good. Thank you for speaking about this. Nah, I'm just saying, like, I just don't go for this bullshit or whatever. These mayors and stuff, these Democratic mayors. We had the same person that all these niggas voted into office because he was better than the other person. Voted to office. He said, "I'm not doing nothing special for black people, and if you ain't black, if you vote for me, I don't hear none of these niggas talk about they bias remorse. They got this motherfucker in office now. The first 100 days, he had an anti-gay law, law for gay bashing or whatever for white Caucasian people that are gay, and he had that anti-Asian law. What the fuck? But y'all still ain't got shit because he ain't doing
Exactly.
nothing for niggas. But y'all niggas ain't not talking about shit. Y'all keep on talking about this motherfucking nigga that was in here, Trump, before him. Talk about the motherfucker y'all got in. Talk about him. That
Hold
other
on.
motherfucker is gone.
Yeah. Hold on for a second. Let me
Black
see
people
if
though.
Fedora. Fedora?
Hey, ladies.
Hi, Miss Fedora.
How
All right,
are
I'm gonna
you?
get down because my shit is on 9%. I feel like Reed. Hi, Reed. My shit
Oh
about to go dead,
God,
but yeah.
Reed.
Oh, dear self, I don't want you to go.
And now I have to. My,
Yeah,
my
I don't
shit is
want
on
you to
nine
go
percent.
either.
That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Y'all
All right. Well,
that,
thank
but
you
that's it.
for coming up.
Yeah, tell these niggas. Hold on, real quick. Tell these niggas stop making black people feel bad about voting for one party. We the only motherfuckers, the only race that make people feel bad for voting for another party. No other race do that. They vote for who has their best interest. Stop making
Your
motherfuckers do that. Y'all keep on voting for the same party. Y'all not getting shit. Stop making motherfuckers
no.
feel that way. Vote for who has your best interest, and that's all I'm going to say. Goodbye, y'all.
Oh, all right.
Bye bye.
Bye. Hi, Fedora. How are you?
Ronnie Q, hey, thanks for bringing me up. I,
Thanks for coming.
oh, you're welcome. Of course. I wish I knew more politically about the bills and the laws as far as the immigrants coming over and what's happening to us who are already here. I wish I knew more.
Hmm. You still there, Fedora? I can't hear you, Fedora. Fedora, drop down and come back up. Your device, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, I hear you now. I hear you now. I hear you now.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm on headphones, so I don't have a.
Okay, I hear you now.
You
Go
still
ahead.
okay?
I
Okay,
hear you
cool.
now. Go
I
ahead.
was saying okay. I was saying that I wish I knew more because I can understand everyone's frustration. Uh, I can hear the African American, Black Americans' frustration with the immigrants coming over. I see. I have I have friends that have neighbors who have immigrants from Cameroon
Hmm.
that are literally renting houses next to them. They speak no English, but they have jobs.
Right. Fedora, can you turn your TV down a little bit?
Yep, I'll turn it off, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. It was a TV. Um, I have friends that have neighbors who have moved into their neighborhoods that are for Cameroon, immigrants that have jobs and they don't speak English.
Right. Right.
Okay? Okay, let's make that number one, let's make that make sense.
Well,
They
the
have
United
they
States.
have how they have housing,
Hmm.
they have families, they have jobs, and they barely speak English. Now, I will say this other part.
You went out. You went out again, Fedora. Fedora, you may have to drop down or either take your headsets off because your sound went out again. In Ohio, we have one of the largest Ukrainian population in the U.S. So they are giving them free housing assistance to rent houses, food assistance, free medical, free tuition, and job training. Yeah, everything that Americans need to compete. Fedora, are you back? I think you're back.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I don't know why I keep dropping off, but I want to say really quickly, and I'm going to say this really fast. Um, I have a nephew who has to find a job because he got into a DUI, drunk driving thing, whatever. Needs to find a job or else he's going to jail, right? Gave him 90 days to find a job. Do you think he's found a job? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
Has he looked or he has not been able to find one?
No, he can find a job. He can find a job just like these immigrants can find jobs. He can find a job. I went to Lowe's the other day, big sign across the whole store, now hiring.
But see, I don't. I has his arrest faltered? Has his arrest played into him not being able to get employment? Is another thing I want to know.
Nope, nope, nope,
Okay.
nope.
Well, why
The
hasn't
fact
he
of the
gotten a
matter,
job?
this is what I want to ask you guys, us as people. These immigrants come over here, they will sleep 9 stack deep in one room if necessary. Everybody will find work. But for some reason, we won't do that. We won't do that. We have our young kids ready to leave the house at 18 or 19.
Well, some of them aren't even ready to leave. Like Summer's Breeze is saying, some of them are just kicked out of the family house at 18, and they're not even ready to live on their own. And so that just starts a downward spiral from the age of 18. So
Exactly.
you have to look
Exactly.
at those types of things as well.
But listen, and that's so true. Absolutely. Because I don't believe anybody should leave the house till they're 25. This is me as a loving mother. I love my baby. Okay. So no, you ain't leaving
Hmm.
until you're 25. Okay. Job, better job than I have, whatever, college degree, whatever. Not till 25, please don't do it. But even at 18, as an American citizen, you can find a job, especially when you have immigrants coming over here at age 18 that are finding jobs. I
But I'm
think
gonna
some.
push. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was
I'm gonna
just
push
saying.
back. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, I'm just saying that we want more, or we want instant gratification, as some of us want that instant money. We want to move out. We want to have our own place. We want to do this. We want to do that. But when these immigrants come over here, they're going to take those low wage jobs and have 6 or 7 roommates.
But see, the difference is the immigrants are, like if you heard dear self talk about, yeah, they'll take a low wage job, but they're going to get food stamps, they're going to get free housing, and all this type of stuff. So if you're getting free housing and if you're living stacked up, then you're able to save all your wages because you don't have to put out any wages to pay for housing, to pay for medical insurance, to pay for a whole lot of expenditures. And also, in many cases, you may be able to apply, fill out for a grant to open your small business after a certain period of time, or even when you first get over. So there's a lot to go into that as well. You see, you have more advantages.
Well,
And
that's
if
a
you're, I know, go ahead.
yeah, that's a big difference. Big difference. That no, you're absolutely right. That is the problem
And like in California,
right
for
there.
instance, when I first moved to California as a teen, I remember Mexican immigrants coming over. They were just starting to like really come over to California real big. And then They used to live a whole lot in a household, and people used to always make fun of how many people that they lived in a household, but they were buying that house. And then when one person get the house, and then they always pool their money. They send their money back home. That if they were like living four families to a house, when one got a house, then they would save their money for the next person to get out and buy a house. See, and this is the type of mentality that is lost on us in the struggle, because if we can't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. If we have to pay, okay, the medical disparities where even when we do pay to go to the doctor, our health care is the healthcare that we get is so subpar compared to our counterparts, just because of our color, that we are suffering with acute diseases and things like that, things that could have been treated, that we're suffering with, living with, dying from earlier. See, all of this plays into it. All of this.
Mm. I understand. I came up here, but just because I wanted to talk about it, because I think it's so, but I don't know a lot about it other than what I see. I don't work in social services, so I don't know. I just know that some of our young children, not young, but young adult children, hmm, I don't want to say they can do better, but they can. I just don't
Well,
want to give excuses. I don't want to give
I,
excuses because, like I said, I have a nephew who can go to Lowe's right now and apply for a job. Not sure if he has or not. Um, I think maybe he hasn't, possibly because he's smoking weed. He don't want to get tested,
well, I
and that
what was
to me
what
is like,
is weed legal in the state that he lives?
yeah, but not necessarily when you're working on a job. He could
No,
possibly
no,
have.
no, no. No, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Is weed legal, recreational, or with a medical card in the state that he
Me-
lives?
Medical card.
Okay, does he have a card?
No.
Okay, so why is it? I just want to know why are so many states making a drug legal that will deter you from getting a job? Why?
What do you mean? So you're
Because
saying
why?
that? So
Yeah, yeah. What's the point in it? What's the point? And the only thing that these states have to offer is to stay high. What's the point in it? You know you can't get jobs. I don't know of any jobs that don't do background checks and make you do a piss test. I don't know of any jobs that don't require that. So why is it that so many states are making it acceptable for you to stay high and out of your fucking mind all day? It's design. It's by design. Because everybody's not going to be independent employer or work for themselves or have a hustle to be able. And the thing about a hustling, you can't even hustle to make money legit anymore. You have like little kids who out there in the median selling water and all this type of stuff. What happens to them? They get hustled up by the cops and all this type of stuff. You are not even able to hustle anymore. People standing outside of ballparks and things like that. They send security down and confiscate all their fucking product and then have them arrested and hemmed up and all this type of stuff. You can't. It's illegal to make even a legal hustle to sell water, much less any other kind of hustle. I mean, they got this system locked down. Look at how many laws have been enacted to prohibit your movement since like the mid to early 80s. It's just so many laws that prohibit any type of means for you to figure out a way around the system to make. You can't, like laws that that people who braid hair, they just can't open up a hair braiding place because they're not washing hair, they're not doing this, that, and the other. They wanted them to go to school to learn how to put in permanent waves, perms, all this stuff for 1,800 hours of all this type of stuff, get a cosmetology license, you're braiding hair. They put all these restrictions in to prevent you from making money in something that you can get a hustle on and make you some money. Everything they put licenses on you. You got to have a license for this. You have to have a license for that. It's just, I'm not saying that. So people need to stop smoking weed. That's what I'm saying. People need to stop smoking weed because it's just a design to keep you down. So if you don't have no job and that's what it takes to get a job, quit fucking smoking weed. That's what you do. You stop smoking weed. Yeah. So if his choice is to go to jail, is that what you said, Fedora? Fedora, I think I lost you again.
Here.
Okay. If his only choice is to go to jail or get a job, what is he thinking?
Can you hear me, Ronnie?
Yeah. If his only choice is to go to jail or to get a job, exactly what is he thinking? What does he think is going to come of this?
That's my question.
I think he's going to go to jail.
My question is, bruh, can you just stop smoking weed for a few months or find out how it can clear you out and then go find a job? And then you probably continue to smoke weed after you get your job. It's not like they're going to do random drug tests. But can you stop for a moment, just a moment, to find a job? Or
UNC girl, you have a job. You don't have to worry about that. You have a job. You don't have a job where they're going to randomly test you. You don't have a job where you work in the public, where you driving machinery for your job, where if you have an accident or simple bumper accident that they're going to test you for drugs. I mean, you got to figure out what's worth it, a decent lifestyle and living, or you don't have to worry about that. So I get it. Okay, hold on. Let me put my banner up. Do you have baby hairs?
No.
Okay.
I don't have any. It fell out a long time ago.
Okay. Hey, James.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, James.
Hello, Fedora. I have questions.
Yes.
For Fedora, because Fedora, she's talking about the nephew. How old is this nephew?
This nephew is 35.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, that changes everything.
I thought he was 18, Fedora.
No, I didn't say 18, did I? No.
I don't know why I assumed he was 18. Go ahead, James.
No, that just changes it.
Because it's stupid. Because it's stupid. That's why you thought it was 18, because he's stupid.
Okay, that changes everything. Because I was confused. I had typed in there, I said, I'm confused. Because where Fedora was saying, I was trying to follow, I thought this nephew was a younger person. I thought he was a younger person. And Fedora was saying that she wanted her child to stay with her until they were at least 25 before they moved out. And I thought that this nephew was actually a younger person. And so that just changes everything. So I'm not really all that confused now.
Okay, well, don't be confused, but tell me this. Let's say this person was 18. Mm-hmm. What would be your take?
Well, mine, I'm not taking on anybody else's problems at this point. But from what you were saying,
it's not your problem.
Yeah, he wouldn't be my problem. And I wouldn't be reaching out to take him on with all that going on. I just can't see me doing it. I can't see me doing it at this point. But what the way the conversation was going was about the immigrants, who are coming over here. and why things go a lot easier for them. Naturally, there's a lot of things that are actually put in place for them, but also it's a mindset thing. Whereas we don't get to see a lot of that with them because they do pull their family members in and they take care of the problem. They let them live with them. They let them, get a job, save their money until they can actually do better. We don't so much do that. We don't so much do that. It's like, listen, come on, are you serious right now?
We used to do
So
that
that's
back in the day. We used to do
back in
that
the
back
day.
in the day, like in the 60s and things like that, 60s, early 70s and stuff. We
Right.
used to do that, but we got away from that because more black people got upwardly mobile just from doing that alone. And so we kind of fell away from that because we did better when we were doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. See, it wasn't, and this is like one of the things how, um, there's a lot of reading and stuff that goes on. My situation comes up a lot where people tell part of my story and they say, "Oh, you live with your brother," this, that, and the other, and that kind of thing. Well, first of all, I didn't live with my brother. That's a whole nother story, though. But as I was growing up, I seen that a lot in my family where people who were like sisters actually had a large house and their children lived in the house and their sister lived in the house and their children lived in the house. It would be like this big, huge house. It was never an issue about families inhabiting one space, and they raised their children and they made it easier for themselves and they lived better than actually living apart and trying to make that happen. That happened. That was not anything strange. Whenever I was growing up, I didn't see that as being strange. Now, as I came along, that wasn't the way my mom and her sister lived. They didn't live like that. They didn't live like that. My aunt always had her place with her children. My mom had her place with her children. That kind of thing. But it wasn't strange in my larger family to actually see that, where there were sisters who actually did live in the house together and they raised their children in the house together.
Well, James, when I spoke about my son, I grew up with a brother. We were not pushed out. My brother decided to go into the military after high school. I decided to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
We were not pushed out to do that.
Well, going to the military is a great thing to do for kids right out of high school.
Right. If they don't have anything, yeah.
If they didn't, if they don't, well, the first thing was, or you're gonna.
You're breaking up again, Fedora. I think it's your headsets.
I know. I have like little cheap headsets. I'm not a professional.
I hear
Can
you now.
hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying it wasn't as if we were pushed out. We wanted to get out because
right.
Back in those, we wanted to get out. Couldn't wait. Excited. Whether it's the military, whether it's college, whether it's getting a job, we were ready to be on our own. I've learned at my age now that if you're going to go to college, great, which my son did, graduated, great. At 21, I say don't make any major decisions outside of this until you're 25. That's just my own little thing.
Right.
Because
I wasn't either. I was never pushed out of the house. I left at 22. I was ready to go. It was time.
And I say until 25 because I've understood from science that the brain is not fully developed until age 25.
In a male child until the age 25 or 26, the brain is not fully developed. You're exactly right.
And I say, babe, no major decisions. You can stay here with, I have no problem. I love you. We get along fine. You can come and go as you please. And saving your money, because you have a great job. Save your money.
Hold on, let me see if this Auntie Donna coming up. Auntie Donna, is this you?
Yeah, this me. What is the overlay you got for me coming up here? Oh my God.
That's Arnaz. That's Arnaz at the Jay Wilson take him out the closet and shake him out.
No. Jay Wilson had a full head. That's missing a lot. Hello, everybody.
Arnaz's been in the closet for a while.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Hey.
I just came up. I wanted to touch on the part of like people coming from another country getting help from the government and also the marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here now in New Jersey, and I know from the neighborhood people and family members, they have it where if you have to get like city welfare, right? You have to take a class called Work First. Unless you're disabled, you don't have to take it. But for the people that's coming from other countries that speak other languages, they don't have to do Work First because they say they don't have people there to teach the class to make them have to do a Work First to get it, right? So that a lot of people felt like, that y'all do have people that work for y'all because that's who teaches the class is the people that work in there. Because I have a lot of church members and family members that also are social workers. So they teach the classes, but there's Spanish speaking people that work in there that could teach the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans that come over. They could require them. They have what I'm trying to say. They do have people in that building that could teach them, but they don't push it. Only us that's here, in America, born in America, they make them have to take the class to get the benefits. Now,
and it's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to go on to the marijuana. Mm-hmm.
Since the United States doesn't have a official language, you can't force people to learn English. See, that's the caveat. And what you notice in a lot of jobs with social services, especially in jobs working for the state and even in some government jobs, now it has become that you must speak Spanish. And if you're not bilingual, you can't even apply for the job. So that is disfranchising people who don't speak Spanish. And that is giving people who are coming over here an advantage to get good jobs with good benefits and all this stuff that you can't get because they're putting that stipulation on there. So, at first it was, gradual. It was gradual. And now, like, if you look at any position and like in different states for social services and any type of job where you're working with the public and social services, that is usually one of the requirements, hard requirements. So go ahead about the marijuana.
That's true, Ronnie.
Yeah. And Ronnie, I've traveled to a couple countries and I say this because it's almost as if I expect people to be able to speak English when I get there, which is almost like an entitlement on my part. How can someone in Greece speak English, but I don't speak Greek? How is someone in Mexico able to speak English, but I don't speak Spanish? And everywhere. Because why are Americans so freaking entitled to
dumb
the point
where
we
they're not entitled
that everyone
we're dumb.
Yeah. Oh, okay, dumb.
We're dumb.
Now,
because the education. Look at America's education system. You look at the American education system, and you look at what these kids in other nations are learning. They are learning this stuff in school. They are learning this stuff. We're not even teaching our kids how to write in cursive in the United States school system anymore. That's why. No expectation. Studying to pass tests, standardized tests. That's why nobody knows anything about economics, about how their government is run, and how to be a well-rounded human being. And before you go talk about the marijuana, Auntie Donna, I want to talk about, we really need to encourage our children to attend trade school. Trades pay top dollar and they can own their own businesses. And there is such a shortage in plumbers and licensed electricians now that you can name your price, because because so many people have been overlooking trade schools in plumbing and electricians that a lot of the plumbers are being grandfathered out, and there's nobody coming up behind them to take these goddamn going jobs. So if you know of anybody who's looking to do anything, push them to do that.
Say
Go
it
ahead
again.
about the marijuana.
I want to bounce back real quick on something with the school system. Here in New Jersey, they do teach the English-speaking children, I mean from pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, they do teach them Spanish also, while they have the classes that teaches the Spanish kids English. Yes, it just depends on where you live at, but around in my area, in towns around my area, it's so many Hispanic people in the population they do teach the American kids, so that will help them in years to come, because it's help you get more jobs, because you'll be able to speak both languages. So so it depends on where you live at and what they're teaching our children at young ages.
The fact of the matter is, all schools and all Americans should know how to speak a foreign language. I don't care whatever one you choose. If you want to be French, Spanish, Greek, Arabic, definitely Arabic, and definitely Spanish. You need to know what's going on around you.
But it's another thing that it's another thing, because it's beyond being lazy. It's parents have to participate in this too, because you start learning before you go to school. And my sister, she sent my nephew to stay with us over the summer, and she was like, can you please make sure you sit down with him and read to him a book every day, because I read to him every day. This boy is so smart, was graduated the top of his class, is in college now, because it was in learning and reading and being curious and loving to read was instilled in him when he was like 2 or 3 years old. She read to him every day. And if parents are not participating in expanding their children's mind, then that is the first avenue of your child learning. Okay, I'm going to let someone else up. Hold on 1 second. Let me put the banner up, make sure. Is this Miss Iverson?
Yes.
Is this Miss Iverson?
Okay. Trouble. Yeah. I know Fedora and I know everybody. I'm not supposed to be on the panel, but let me make it quick and get down so I don't get in trouble.
Ms.
I just wanted to say, how you doing, Auntie Donna? How you doing, Spill It Board, Fedora? And how are you doing, Running Q, tonight?
Hello.
Good.
Okay. Really quick, I just did a video just talking about reparations and talking about not having divide and conquer mentality when it comes between we're dividing Blacks and Latinos. And I just want us to all understand, when we're talking about the language and we're talking about they're coming over here and they're doing this, they're doing that, you have to understand these people, they were the indigenous people here. And the colonizers came over here and divided the land and told them, set the borders, and this is who we're going to call you, or whatever. Indigenous people from Africa, from any continent, they were always sectioned off by tribes. They had tribal names. It was the colonizers that came over and said, you're going to be Indian, you're going to be Black, you're going to be this. They created the concept or the construct of race. So what I'm trying to promote as we go into 2023, as we are having this debate about reparations, is to stop the divide and conquer. Because the bottom line is the Europeans went into almost every every place throughout this earth and colonized, changed your language and your culture. We all started off as melanated. So I understand. I don't know if you guys are talking about what's happening with Title with 42, what's happening at the borders. But remember, this was their land. This was their land.
Yes. Yes.
And we're looking at them saying to them, how dare you come across our borders or whatever? Well, how dare you? You took their land and pushed them out and did all whatever you did. I mean, really, we have to be sensitive to each other. We all have different plights. I understand that what Blacks are going through. And I showed this on my page where the French did an apology to the African Americans. They have a parade with the Statue of Liberty as a Black woman in a jumpsuit in orange, a jail suit, and chains, saying, we pray for the African Americans because y'all are enslaved. So, well, everybody else around the world get it, but it's like we don't get it here. Like, we so much like, you this, you that, you don't speak this, you ain't from here, you're not from there. Don't none of that matter. And what I'm telling everybody on 2023, get on code when it comes to reparations, please.
But
please.
But see, we're talking about two different things. Yeah, because if people who are coming over here, this is what we were talking about. People who are coming over here to the United States have such a easier route at it because the United States is paying them and giving them food stamps, housing, medical, and all these things. When we have people who built the United States, who grandparents built the United States, are getting nothing, are living in cars, are homeless, hopelessly homeless.
Listen, I understand that. And I see that here. I see people in our country, tent city, veterans that went over and fought for us, living under bridges. I understand
that's what we're
that.
Talking about.
But let's go back. Let's go back to the Texas War and the Mexican or whatever. They took that land. That's their land.
No,
we are sitting here.
No.
If you go all the way back,
it's not their land. So then it's the Indians' lands. So I mean, it's the Indians' land.
And that's when we come back to figuring out, because we're all in the same situation, which is a big mess, is that the indigenous people, they were divided up. Either they were conquered by the Spaniards or conquered by the English. So some speak Spanish, but I know you guys know that there are Black Indians. Yes. I know you guys know that. There are some Indians that have very dark-skinned indigenous people.
Right.
O.D. Basket, whatever he called himself. He was from Indian tribe.
But we really weren't talking about that, so to speak, as far as we were just talking about like what's really going on and the condition of where we are and exactly where we're headed if we keep going on this track.
I know it's going to be terrible. I understand that with them opening up the borders, but this is a issue that the elite and the Caucasians have created. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if they had opened up the borders and I knew my grandfather or my great-grandparents at one time, that was their land and they came from that generation, I would feel like I have entitlement. And I'm just trying to look at it from all sides.
Let me tell you this. Everybody want to talk about the borders being opened up and this, that, and the other, and but the one thing that's never discussed is, the middle class is totally diminished. These people who are coming over the border are going to work for lower wages. They're going to have all these social things paid for by them, housing. They're going to get food stamps. They're going to get housing, all this type of stuff. They will take lower wages jobs and things like that. But the thing that is not being talked about is that's what's really fucked up, is that it's illegal to hire undocumented workers. So how come these millionaires and billionaires who are hiring these people, who keep them coming here because they, like newscasters tell you, they just want to work? Well, how the hell they want to work when it's illegal to hire undocumented workers? But nothing.
Well,
But they see these
another
people
thing,
who hire them are not feeling the pain of what having them over here has done to the middle class, because they're getting rich off of their labor.
but I also understand. I'm gonna tell you another thing we're gonna get ready to deal with as well is the Republicans using this as a weapon to ship them to Democratic states that say this is a sanctuary state. So anybody who live in states
Well, they're
like
already
that, they're
doing
going to
that.
drop
We've
them
already
off.
we've
They're
already
going to
discussed
increase
that.
your
We've
homeless
already
population
discussed
or
that.
over your system.
We just
Exactly.
already discussed
So
that.
what
The
but
three states that
but
they're
what I'm
going to
saying,
from Texas,
but
the
that
three
is
states that they're going
what
to
I'm
from
saying to
Texas
you, Ronnie
is
Q,
New
that's
York,
something bigger than
Washington, D.C., and Chicago. Those are Democrat states, and that's where the bulk of the people
and
who are
I'm
being
here in the
shipped out of
DMV
Texas.
area.
And
So I
somebody,
already
and somebody,
see the effects of
and
it.
and somebody said
So
that
let me
they
ask you a
don't see
question,
them.
Ronnie
They
Q.
see them sleeping on the streets in Atlanta. I mean, in Texas.
And
And I was
under
like, yeah,
bridges,
because
yeah,
Texas,
tent cities.
yeah.
So what
No.
do we
Sleeping
do?
on
Let me ask you a
on the
question.
street.
What do we do? Because this is something that's set up by the elites, the oligarchies. They wanted to wipe out the middle class.
Yeah. Well,
So
the
what do
middle
we
class
do
has been wiped out.
at our level?
I don't know.
It's gone.
That's what we're
Exactly.
talking about
So
right now.
well, I
History
guess at this point,
is
how do
repeating
you think we
itself.
can move forward?
Exactly.
History is repeating
I don't know.
itself.
It's at a point where people like take everything that's handed to them and like, okay, it's nothing I can do about it. It's nothing I can do about it. And it's gonna come a point where, I don't know. I don't even want to say the word. They may snatch my
So
channel.
let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about pulling a coalition together and drafting a bill? Because under a nonprofit organization, a 501c, I keep saying to you guys, you have more power than you think you have. If you guys came together, you're influencers. You influence people. You can create your own coalition and you can register yourself as a party. And you can start taking things into your own hands and voting and writing up bills. Then you have the National Congress of Black Caucus that meets the third week of September every year for free.
But you're voting for people who are paid for by lobbyists and big money on both parties. They're bought and
That's
paid
when
for.
you start trying to create that for yourself. You start creating your own lane for yourself.
Okay, so now we're gonna.
I'm not supposed to be on a panel. I don't feel like getting the backlash from my family. But let me say to you, Ronnie Q, where I'm at, if there are people who are interested in that political wise, and maybe looking at coming up with, because I was a part of National Congress of Black Women. They have their own voting. They can put up bills or whatever. We had Dorothy Heights and all of them was a part of that, but there is a way. Let's say if on YouTube, if you guys all wanted to come together and created some type of coalition under nonprofit organization 501c and create your own platform and start writing up bills that you want to submit. It's a start. I'm not saying you're gonna get the outcome right away, but it's a start to the solution.
Okay, we have somebody else who's coming up, and Donna, I'm going to let you talk about what you wanted to say about the marijuana. All right, good night.
I got.
Thank you. Good night. Thanks for joining us. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this stuff up, and then I'm gonna let you talk about what you want to talk about that marijuana. Dear self, is this you?
Yeah,
Dear
Ronnie,
self?
I'm choppy. I'm on a different device. It's fucked up.
No, it's good. I'm gonna let Donna talk first, and then you come in after her, and then Spiller Boy.
When the topic was about marijuana and, well, I call it reefer or weed. We're talking about the weed. And you were saying about, because I thought also that he was, when you were telling the story, I thought he was a younger gentleman by the way the story was going, but you said he was 30 what?
35.
Okay, 35. He's already old enough and mature enough to know right from wrong. Why I'm coming up to speak is because I've smoked weed off and on my entire life. Okay, I've kept jobs, good jobs. Is somebody's phone? I kept jobs. I knew how to, that's one thing you could do without. If you set your mind to it and you really want something, that's not a drug like that hard white and all that other stuff that people graduate to further and further and further. Like I said, I could stop to pass a test. It do take the longest to get out of a system. It takes 30 days, and you do need to drink a lot of water unless you do some of them other things, that people do. Thankful I don't have to do that now, because now I smoke for medical reasons. I might have done it younger for other reasons, but still in my whole life, it was something that I can control, that I could stop. When it comes to a job, making money, passing a drug test, that is something that he has to want himself.
That's true.
Okay.
So
okay. Say that last thing that you said to me, because I want to understand, because it's either to the point the judge has given him 90 days.
And he could have took them first 30 days of them 90 days and cleaned himself out. Stop smoking, drunk water all day. And he could have went, he could have went and found a good job that he could have passed the drug test on. At 90 days, it only take 30 for it to get out your system. So it's him. I mean, me, myself, I like to be free. I don't want to be behind nobody bars telling me when to use the bathroom and eat and stuff. So it's got to be something within him that he don't want to do right, and he know the consequences.
Okay, that and I guess that was my point. It's up to us individuals to decide. It's up to us as individuals to decide where we want to go, what we want to do. We can't depend on the government to decide what we can do and what we can't. Drug tests, apparently, we have to depend on the government for that. But when we talk about these immigrants coming in, they're getting jobs, whether it be $9 an hour, $15 an hour. And I understand, Ronnie Q, we can't afford. Rent is crazy. I don't know what rent is. I don't have rent, but
I was reading a comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
No, babe. It's like my whole thing is we have to want it. We all have to want it. There was a time when us as Black people had our own cities and towns, and we were thriving. And yes,
under what? Under what? Under what? Under what? Segregation. Under segregation. And you got to look at segregation. That there may be some good things that came out of segregation, but the segregation, I think that was one of the main reasons why they were willing to stop segregation, because they saw how good we were doing and how much money we were spending with each other and doing business with each other. So that's my opinion.
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. That's why they burned it down. That's why they killed it. They had the power to kill that. But then once they killed it, we just succumb. We succumb. We have we have the pockets
every time.
Say that again, babe.
You would too. I mean, look at Central Park. That was a whole Black settlement. What did they do? Run them fucking people out of Central Park. That was a Black town. So that's what they do to us. Every time we get something, they tear you down. You will not go to the grave being Black and wealthy.
Why not?
Because they're going to take it from you. Look, why do you think so many? Look at all this gentrification that's going on throughout all these neighborhoods. They raise the rents. They have people to come in and buy out the places and stuff that they wouldn't even sell you when they were run down to a Black person. But then they gentrify the neighborhoods, and then There was no decent places to shop. You had to eat inadequate food, live in food deserts. But soon as other people come in, what do? They start putting money in the community. It's not like all these corporations, all these grocery stores and everything that come into these communities are not getting financial help from different parts of state government. Like in Leimert Park in Los Angeles, there was a mall, Baldwin Hill Crenshaw Mall. That when that mall started out, it was a nice mall. It turned into a nothing old swap meet type of mall. And now that downtown Baldwin Hills has been gentrified along Crenshaw Boulevard, they had a $280 million grant idea to fix this mall up because the neighborhood had been gentrified. But prior to that, they didn't want to put anything in the neighborhood. And then also they had a proposal to go along with that they would build a 8-story apartment complex. They were going to house over 500 people. And the city, the residents came together and said, no, they didn't want this in their neighborhood because it was going to make their rents go up even higher than what this gentrification had already done, because it was going to be so many concentration of units. So what the people did was they offered to come back to the city of Los Angeles, which the mayor was on the board of the commission who was proposing this. They offered to give them 68 of the 580 something units for low income houses. Now, what kind of percentage is that? So you want to give 68 low income houses on a 500 and something unit building in a city that is an area that's already being gentrified all around it. And the city came to Leimert Park came together and they's like, no, and they were unable to build that. But you're right, people have to come together and understand that they have power to figure out what's going on in their neighborhoods.
Ladies and gents, what do you
yes,
think?
Donna.
What do you think happened? What do you think happened? So, yeah, our towns were burned down, but then there were those of us who actually came back from that. What happened to us as a people? Did we become comfortable?
No, it's called defeated. If you keep on, every time I build something and you knock down my damn castle, I'm gonna become defeated. Every time I pull myself see, they show you a few black people that are successful and say you too, when it's just a fucking handful. That's not the story. So you could say, yeah, well, my nephew can go to Lowe's and get that job. Don't you know he will be outsourced by an immigrant? Don't you know that when I used to live in the Southwest, you know why them white people hated Mexicans more than they hated black people?
Are you kidding me? Hold on, one sec. I hear where you're going. My nephew,
he will work those jobs. Your nephew
is going to be choosing to go to jail versus to get a job at Lowe's.
But you said that you don't know whether he went or not. But you said you don't know if he went. Did you ask him? At first you said, "Well, I don't know." Is it frustrating?
No, he hasn't.
Did you ask him?
That's my frustration. He's not working.
But did you ask him how many? You have to ask someone. You can't just assume. Just ask the brother, and then come back to us and tell us what he did. Just ask the young brother.
No, I'm asking.
Hold on.
Hold on.
But just because he's not working doesn't mean he didn't go and apply. But just because he's working doesn't mean he didn't apply. He could have applied and he didn't get the job. So that's the difference in assuming or knowing for sure if he applied and he wasn't granted the job.
I was giving you a scenario, a serious
Fedora,
scenario.
Is that his pedigree? For Miss Fedora, is that his pedigree? Like he's just lazy. That's why you're saying you can go. You can bet like he didn't go because that's just how he is. Like he just gives up.
Well, you know what? From his history, yeah, lazy.
Okay. I understand. Okay, so that's what she get from it. Okay, but what I want to jump on real quick, what Shireen was saying when she was like, "Well, they and they." Let me tell you something. Those Mexicans and them rest of them Hispanics talk shit when Trump was in office. Let's listen to this. Don't you know Goya and Telemundo was over there in the back room speaking to him to get the fuck what they had to get before that motherfucker got in office? But your black caucus said, "I'm not going to talk to him." This is the fucking man, the leader of the fucking free world. You don't get your fucking ass up in there and try to talk to him about something to get shit for us. We're not going to. So who is the Tom? The motherfuckers that's refusing to talk to this motherfucker, regardless of what he thinks. Every motherfucker that crossed that path is fucking racist. Nobody likes black people. My mother even said, she said, shit, even the devil don't like black people, okay? It is what the fuck it is, right? But these motherfuckers that y'all voted in the black caucus, these uppity black motherfuckers, we're not going to sit down and talk to them. How ignorant was that? But those motherfuckers, every Spanish person he talked against, don't you know those big corporations went in there and got some shit for their people, regardless of what the fuck he was saying about build the wall to fucking get shit for their people and walked out with packages for their people, but we didn't. So y'all can sit there and talk all this shit about, you know, your black congressmen and leaders. They don't do shit for you motherfuckers. They rally for everybody else, but not us. They tell you bullshit. This person is racist. I don't give a fuck what the fuck he is. You better go in there and get us some shit. I don't give a fuck what that motherfucker is. He's leader of the fucking free world. I'm gonna come back with some shit for y'all. But y'all fucking dismiss Chrisette Michelle for singing the fucking national anthem or whatever she sung at the fucking inauguration. That's what they always get black entertainers to sing inauguration. She's doing her job. Y'all did black people worry about the simplest, dumbest shit. You have Serene. Oh, well, what about them? They don't give a fuck about us. I don't see them marching with us, fighting for black people. They get what the fuck they gotta get and they leave. They use us for numbers, just like the fucking
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. It's no black and brown coalition.
It definitely ain't.
No.
Especially when them
it ain't no
Spanish
people of color coalition. Go ahead.
It isn't. Especially when them Spanish gangs, they don't let you know they're bombing black people out of their motherfucking communities in the Southwest. Oh, they don't talk about that, right? But they want to tell you black on black crime. Fuck that. Hispanic on Hispanic crime. Asian on Asian crime. Because you are not likely to hurt
white
people that you live
white
fucking
crime.
around. But exactly.
Crimes
I'm
of
not
proximity.
going for some. Right, but Shireen, she want to talk, but she made a bad decision going to fucking IHOP thinking that woman wasn't going to whip her ass. You know what I'm saying? So I can't listen to her when she talks about we. There's no motherfucking we. There's no we. It's a us thing. Like I talk about when they talk about, excuse me for my black brothers and sisters that are lesbian and gay. When they say LGBTQA, no, you're not. You're black and you're gay. They don't include it. I had a black friend of mine who's a homosexual. He got his ass kicked. Them officers didn't treat it as a fucking hate crime. It was mutual combat when obviously he told them what the guy was saying before he went upside his head. Had it been somebody white or somebody other that was black, they would have got that as a hate crime. So no, you are my brothers and sisters. You happen to be gay and lesbian. Don't go under that fucking banner of LGBTQAI because they use you for numbers and they get what the fuck they want to get and they don't rally for us when we get our head kicked in because we are gay, because we are lesbian. Fuck them. It's us. It's about us. We can't worry about everybody else. We always worried about everybody else. You got motherfucking, forgive me for saying this, Tim Blaine going off about an ex-president. That's fucking Trump. What about Biden that you voted in? That got two fucking bills that had nothing to do with black people. Meanwhile, we still getting fucked up.
Right.
Dear self.
I agree.
We have to focus on us. Fuck all this Democrat, Republican shit. What about us? The system wasn't made for us. It ain't built for us, but we got to make something happen. And I'm not talking about we are lazy. We're not lazy. We get kicked fucking down.
Dear self.
They show you a handful of wealth people. Yes. Sorry.
That's okay, babe.
Yeah, that's all. They show you Oprah and everybody else. Oh, they can do it. No, that's a handful. What about the majority of us? We're more than an Oprah and a fucking Magic Johnson. We're more than that. We're more than that.
And we're more than a heck of a lot of curse words.
Cursing is saying, I wish you don't have shit. It's not saying motherfucker. It's saying, I wish you don't get nothing in life. That's a curse. I'm just using, expressive language, colorful, passionate.
Yeah, you're very
outliers.
Passionate.
Yes, outliers.
Very passionate. And your passion is very clear and understood. But can we not be so passionate to the point where we can use another language?
She can. No.
Is it a language that we?
No, she can curse. No, she can curse. I mean, because it's no biggie.
I'm not saying that she can. Of course she can. That's her human right.
Miss Fedora, it doesn't matter if I come across things.
Yes, will we be understood and taken seriously if we can't? Will we
Mr.
be
Fedora?
truly understood? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No, Miss Fedora. After, come on. Doesn't matter if I come in with a dress to the nines and speaking yes and this, that, the third. They still see nigga, so they gonna see angry nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. This is
only
what
if
it
you
is.
say it. Only if you say it.
Oh, that's what it is.
And
No,
if
well,
you
that's
say
what it
it
is.
and repeat it and allow it to happen, yes, of course, it's going to be accepted. If you keep saying it and accepting it and saying it to your own people, absolutely, it's going to be accepted. Why wouldn't it be?
But it doesn't even matter if you. It doesn't matter if you say it to your own people because they're going to say it about you anyway. It doesn't matter what you say to your own people.
You've been calling yourself that for years. But you just changed it a little bit.
No, they have not.
Yes,
that has not been going on for that has not been going on for years. That became more of a thing. In my experience, I'll put it this way. In my experience, when I grew up, I didn't hear a whole lot of Black people calling each other the N-word. That is more of a...
Okay, stop. 1 second. I'm sorry for interrupting. But when you were growing up, you didn't hear that. Where were you and where was the African American society at that time when we weren't calling each other?
I was just about to tell you. That has been more of a thing that came about for me in the early 80s, okay, with a certain type of music that I liked, that I enjoyed. So that for me, I didn't grow up hearing that a lot. And my family come from the deep South, can trace our history back to slavery, okay? And my parents were migrants from the South that moved, the great migrants that moved to Chicago. There was another one that moved to Detroit. That deep. And it wasn't like that I didn't hear that growing up.
So where was your family and where were they economically?
My family was a two-parent household, owned their own home, 2 cars in the garage, worked every day. My father had the same job before I was born to the day he died. And my father was not even a high school graduate and earned a good wage at a company that had good benefits, that had insurance, had everything that he needed to raise, to have a wife, own his own home with his wife working, and have 2 kids and a dog and 2 cars in the garage in the suburbs, not in the inner city, in the freaking suburbs.
Absolutely. My point. Absolutely.
Now, what about my point? Because I can say the same thing she said.
Where was your family? Where was yours?
Philadelphia. I didn't hear all that, even in my neighborhood, even though my parents had us going to Catholic school. But in that neighborhood, we still had friends, even though they went to public school. That N-word wasn't something I normally heard. Back then, they was using slangs like man, what's up, man. That was one of the slangs.
Exactly.
The N-word was nothing I heard within my household or at that time in my neighborhood or around my family, even when we would come here to New Jersey or go into New York. I can agree with Ronnie Q. That's something that came up like around in the 80s. That, I mean, not saying it didn't happen or wasn't being said in no one's house, but not everybody had
it wasn't a greeting. It wasn't a greeting.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. So, Ronnie Q, dear self, you understand where I'm coming from when I talk about this. Where did it begin? Because it began somewhere. We were doing somewhat. I mean, we were moving. We were immigrants. Although we built this, but we had to come from scratch in the dirt and the graves and come up. Our parents, and I don't know, our parents' parents, I'm going to put it like that, raised us to respect ourselves. Mothers and fathers. our parents or our parents, whoever you guys are speaking of, because I don't know how old you are, but I'm gonna say this: our parents raised us to respect ourselves. So my question again, going back, where did this start?
Well, you know better, you do better. Okay, this is for me. I first heard it start when certain artists were asked why do they use the N word so much, and I remember several artists would say, "Oh, we're taking that word back. We're trying to regain our power." See, that was the excuse of using the word so freely in commercial music that they wanted to take their power back. Okay, so that's what it was. That's how it happened. Like you say, when you know better, you do better. And now I don't see a problem with, and we getting caught up in language and using one word when you miss the whole substance of this whole thing that she said. She said something of such substance, so you can't get caught up in one word. And I don't even think she used that word. She was using curse words. So I don't want to get caught up in a word when we got bigger issues to fry than this word.
I'm not saying she was saying too much about the N word. It was the other words. But the fact of the matter is, once we get used to that N word, we start going everywhere else.
Well, Ms. Fedora, most people that I know that are highly educated Black people, they use colorful language, and the ones that are idiots use they speak prim and proper because they're trying to pull one over. For me, I have extensive vocabulary, but when I'm here, I'm talking with you guys or whatever, and I'm passionate about what I'm speaking because I get tired of the bullshit that Shireen was saying because what about the other people? No, what about us? They never say what about the Black people. They don't give a fuck. They use us for every fucking thing. And after they use us, they get rid of us like a bad bag of dope. And I'm getting tired of this shit. It's no we, it's I. When we talk we, yes, us. Us. It's foundational. Us. But I'm not talking about the other people. But as far as
yourself, I understand.
Yeah, the way I speak, that's the way I speak. I'm New Yorker from heart. I grew up with very educated people, or whatever. But yeah, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all get it. We speaking as family.
Okay, now let me let James say something. James. So now you heard what Dear Self said about not leading with being gay first, and the gay LGBTQ community really counting Blacks in when it comes to getting movement of things done, but discounting Blacks in a lot of other ways. How do you feel about that? Because for me, what I know is that there is a lot of racism within the community as well. What do you say? Is James still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a thing. I don't get into it much. But you want us when you want the numbers, and you don't when you don't need them.
Yeah, and that's what you were saying, Dear Self, right? I think that's what Dear Self was saying as well.
Yeah, James is right. My uncle, hey St. Clair, if he's listening, he told me, he said Stonewall. He said it was me and my buddies. We were Black, but they show a bunch of white faces. That was us raising hell with Stonewall. I said, word? He said, yeah, but they show the white. They don't show the Black ones.
Yeah, James, expound. Please expound.
Well, it's just like, I don't expect you can't expect anything more from white folks than you do from Black folks. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's not, I didn't make up the rules. It just kind of is what it is. Even when it comes down to situations like Black Lives Matter and that kind of thing, it's, again, they don't want the gays until they need the numbers. When they need the numbers, then yeah, it's cool. That's right. Everybody. But when it really isn't about just the numbers, we're not treated as part of the group.
Now, what Joanna said, as long as you're speaking on it, you're feeding it. I totally disagree with that, because as long as you're quiet about it, you're accepting it. When you start talking about it, you start generating thought behind it, and you start generating movement behind what you're talking about. Because as long as you're quiet, you're passive and you're accepting it and you're just eating it. That's my opinion. Yeah, everybody wants us to be quiet about the things that concern us. And so I think that more people need to talk about it. It needs to be an agenda. Like they always talk about the black vote, and like they say the black vote got Biden in, and we expected nothing from any elected official, but we're voting D, and that's all they got was in. And then they're talking about bipartisanship. That was the first thing Biden was talking about, bipartisanship, when we should have been the first thing you were talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't have nothing to talk about, because you wouldn't be in office if it wasn't for our vote. They always talk about how important getting our vote out, but then that's it. After we vote, they're like, okay, thank you, bye. Anybody else? Hold on.
Oh no, I'm
Joanna's coming up.
Okay, yeah.
Joanna?
Hi.
All right.
Hey.
Well, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Maybe
Happy holidays.
Hi, everybody. Happy holidays.
Evening.
For some reason, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. I don't know why. I just love it. But I love it for the little kids. But anyway, maybe you read it like I wrote it, right?
Oh, it probably was out of context?
No, it probably wasn't. You read it like I wrote it. But what I'm saying is, anything you feed is going to keep growing, right? If you water your plant, it's going to keep growing. If you stop watering your plant, it's going to die. I would not give these people the time of day. As long as they know that you guys are bothered by that, they're going to keep on fucking with you. I'm effing with you. You get what I'm saying? So it's probably easy for me to say because I don't do lives or do none of the, the stuff like that and go and address it. But stop feeding it. Because if I know that, Ronnie, if I know that you had a long pinky toe, I'm going to keep on fucking with your pinky toe because I know that's going to bother you.
Well, it's not, stop feeding.
You get what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
No, I don't. No,
you don't?
Okay. Not at all.
You don't understand that racist white people will keep on effing with black people because they feel that it's something that bothers us. I would ignore. See, this is a difference. I don't know where everybody stay at, but I'm in Southern California. I'm in Los Angeles. Okay, but I don't say that I do not experience racism, but I don't experience as much as people in the South or where have you. So I don't comment on that stuff because I can't comment on how they feel. But
so you say so what you're saying, overt racism is worse than covert racism? Racism is
no.
racism.
Can you say it again?
I understand what you just said. You think that covert racism is worse than overt racism? Either way, it's setting you back. I'm gonna ask
you to give me the definitions of those because I'm gonna be honest with
you. Covert means they're doing it on the slide. They're not saying the N-word to you, but they're taking everything that they can from you because you are black and they think you're less than. Overt means like, nigga, give me this shit. You don't deserve it because you ain't shit. That's overt versus covert.
I think they both the same to me, but
no, they're not.
Well, Joanna, how do you feel the Latinos are pushing black people further and further on the outskirts so they can't even travel to get to the
you
jobs?
Don't want to know how I feel about that because
when the jobs are available, they don't hire you guys. You black people that build that motherfucking city, they don't even hire y'all. So they are
hold on, Joanna.
They are using white supremacy against you. So so how don't you feel it? How are you not facing it? You are facing it every every day when they're pushing your asses out on the outskirts and y'all can't even get to the jobs. And even if y'all were near the jobs and y'all could get to the damn jobs, they're not hiring you. They're hiring only Latinas.
And you look at in Southern California, you look at all.
Can I answer the question before I
forget?
Because I am kind of elderly.
In Southern California, you look at all the jobs that have small Hispanic people, small numbers of Hispanic people coming in, and pretty soon there are no black faces in the job because they only hire their own, and then they'll get different codes in where you must be bilingual to work these jobs that you shouldn't have to be bilingual to work.
Right. So I'm not up here trying to debate none of my sisters. Listen, I live on a border state. Listen, I understand everything you guys are saying. I do. What I was just plainly saying was I am not personally affected by it because I am retired and I have my own business. But I'm not saying that I do not have 3 children that might be going through it. You get what I'm saying? I understand you sisters. I do. And I live on a border state. I'm so close to Mexico, y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I understand all that. I don't like press 1 for English. What the fuck? Why I didn't say press 1 for Spanish? I don't like that. I understand everything y'all said. I'm not debating y'all at all. Only thing I said was I don't feed into it because once you feed into something, when a person knows that this bothers you, that's what they're going to keep on doing to you. Now, I understand everything y'all saying, and I agree. I agree. Okay. I totally agree with everything y'all saying. My quote was on.
All right.
My statement was only saying, don't feed into it. That's it. Just don't feed it.
You don't have to feed
Joanna,
it because
you live it. You don't have to feed it. You live it every day.
Eats upon you. You don't have to feed it because it eats upon you. All right, Joanna, you don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna let you down, Joanna.
Oh no, I dropped. You ain't gotta let me down.
Okay, so okay, so I had a thought in my head about I just, if you don't want to talk about it, then there's nothing to say. So just because you don't talk about it don't mean it's not going to affect you.
I was thinking more on the line of not talking about it because it's bothering us. I thought we was discussing it, trying to get each other to come together, and the first place is to teach the children and prepare them for the things in life. Rather, you know how we are, and I know how I was when I was a kid and how kids are. You can teach them, you can install in them everything, but that don't mean once they get out your house, they're not going to be easily influenced by somebody that don't have no that don't want nothing, can mess up everything you did a whole lifetime of teaching your child before they leave out the house. I thought our discussion was basically not on us like complaining or giving them credit, but it was more on the line of us discussing it and trying to think of ways to better ourselves and what we can do together to try to fix the problem.
Right. Yeah. Joanna, I didn't mean to get frustrated. I guess I got a little frustrated. I didn't want to be rude or anything like that, but I just got a little frustrated because it's like we don't control the racism. So it just got me kind of like so I apologize if I came out curt with you. So that wasn't my intention. Thank you, Spiller Boy, for coming up. I appreciate it.
Pretty much, but that we've tried everything to defeat it. It's still defeated. You have to face it hand on. And before y'all place your vote for any candidate, make sure they give you a tangible. Fuck a promise. We want to see what you got right now, even from your little fucking office. We want to see it because that's what them Latinos did the last time they went in there. That's what Asians have the lowest voting population. But guess what? They wanted something. They fucking went in there and they vote any kind of way they wanted to vote. There's no fucking loyalty to no motherfucking party. The motherfucker saying something good and he's giving you tangibles, that's the fuck way you go. Stop being loyal to ideal. that idea of I'm just gonna do this because this is what it is. No, that's just retarded. That's stupid. It's the stupidest shit I've ever fucking heard. You vote for who is true to your fucking heart. And if your people don't want to speak to you because who you're voting for, that's just fucking on them. You're thinking outside the box, because thinking inside the box with everybody else collectively has gotten us nowhere. No fucking where. We're worse off.
We're actually going backwards. And that's the thing that really like is crazy to me, because at a point in your life when you see society going backwards to some stuff that you used to hear about that used to go on, and it's like, well, why are we going backwards instead of progressing? It's crazy. Well, thank you guys for coming up. You guys.
All right, good night.
All right.
Wait a minute. Hold on, dear self. I want to let Auntie Donna, you have any last words? I really thank you for coming up. I hope you have a happy holiday. And dear self, I want to give you the last words as well.
Okay, I just wanted to come up because I just wanted to, say my part about the weed smoking, because I know how people feel about it. But that is one drug you can control if you want to. It's not like the hard chemical drugs where you got to go into rehab, and it's a mind thing that, 90 days he had 30 to get clean and the other 60 to go find a job. So I just wanted to put that in there. Nice talking to you. Great live. See you the next time.
All right. Thank you for coming up. Have a happy holiday if I don't see you before Christmas. Dear self, thank you so much.
You too, dear self.
You too, Auntie Donna.
Dear self, thank you for coming up and contributing so much to the conversation. And would you like to end with something?
No, and don't say happy holiday to me. I don't celebrate holidays. I'll put a bunch of coal in your stockings. Not playing. No, thank you for having this conversation. It was a great one. And that's it. All right. Have a good evening and be well.
All right. Have a good evening and have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. You know you're my bully. Bye.
I can't tell. All right. Have a good one. All right, chat. Joanna, once again, please forgive me if I was short. My apologies. My apologies. I was like heated about the conversation, so my apologies. You're my girl, my Cali girl, so I don't want to offend you. I didn't mean to offend you, and I want to thank everyone for showing up and for your great participation in this conversation. It was really, I really liked all the comments and then. Back and forth that I got with you guys, and I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. And I'll see you around the YouTube streets. If I don't see you before then, please enjoy your weekend and your Christmas. All right, thank you all for coming out, and I really appreciate you. And if you like the show, you can give me a thumbs up on your way out. Thank you. Bye-bye.